Hey guys, it's Brooke. I'm back with another video. This week I'm going to be showing you my TBR cart and all the books I have on it and kind of how it's set up. Okay, so starting off first, these are not all of the books on my physical TBR. I have other ones on my shelves, kind of to fill some space, and then I also have some that are bigger series, like I have the Addicted Calloway Sister series, I have the Shatter Me series. They just take up a little bit more room, and I didn't want to fill this up so fast. And I'm also a series binger when I watch shows or read books, anything like that. So if I pick up one, I will just pick up the rest immediately. So I kind of want to keep this more to like standalones or shorter series, so I'm not just reading 7 books of a series instead of maybe 7 standalone books. Even though you're still reading 7 books, I just want to get to more books. So starting off with the first shelf, the first book I have is The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory, I think is how it's pronounced. This is I think it's a summer romance. I'm pretty sure it's about a pro baseball player and a surgeon. And I was very into Grey's Anatomy this past year. So I was kind of looking for books with some surgeons or doctors in them to kind of get more of that. Next, we have The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is another romance. I think it is a radio show, I think is what they're on. And I don't know that much about it, but I thought the cover was really pretty and I've heard good things, so I'm really excited to get to this. Next, I have Mr. Wrong Number and The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I think these are both somehow interconnected. I'm not quite sure how, but that's kind of what I've heard. I don't know. I've never read any of her books, and I'm really excited to pick these up. But these both interested me, and I think it's kind of fun that they're a little interconnected. So I'm excited to finally read some of her books. By a Thread by Lucy Score. I also have not read any Lucy Score books yet. I know her books are very popular and very loved, so I'm really excited to get to this. This is another romance. It's a workplace romance, and I know she works for a magazine company, and I'm very into fashion and beauty, so I can't wait to see the setting. So we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is an adult sci-fi book, and I haven't really read any sci-fi books in general. And if I have, it was like a very, very long time ago, and I doubt they even really counted that much as sci-fi. But I'm very excited to get to this. I'm kind of excited to dive into a new genre, and I'm a big fan of Haley Pham, and she very highly recommends this series. Then we have The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. This is an adult mystery thriller book. It's set in the Outer Banks, and I love that show. So I've gotten really into kind of the setting of it. So I'm really excited to read a book with that same setting. Next, we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy by Holly Jackson. And Pretty Little Liars is probably my favorite show of all time. And I don't know if anyone's ever said these books are similar to it, but somewhere in my mind I've correlated the show and these books together. I'm not quite sure why, but I know that this is a YA mystery, maybe a little thrillery, and I think there's like a hint of romance in them. I'm super, super, super excited to get to these. I've loved The Naturals, and I feel like this will have kind of that similar vibe, like not too heavy in the mystery thriller, but not heavy on the romance either. So I'm really excited. I have First Position by Melanie Hamrick. This is another adult romance, and it's about 2 dancers, I believe. And like I said in my last video, I'm a dancer/dance teacher, so I really enjoy books with dancers in them. I think that's fun because I kind of already understand the knowledge of like the sport and everything about it, so I think it's fun to kind of read and dive more into it. And on the back of this first shelf, I have the first 2 books in the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. I have Binding and Keeping 13. I'm so excited to get to these. These are a YA romance. And I know they're YA, but I've heard they're more mature in a sense because of trigger warnings and other topics in it. But I'm very excited to get to these. I've learned from Magnolia Parks that I love those contemporary romances that kind of just are heartbreaking. And I don't know why I love to put myself through that pain, but I really just, I don't know, I think I enjoyed the conversations and how deep we get into talks, and not as much just like, oh my god, we're in love and like everything's happy and healthy. It feels more like real life when you get into these kind of books. So I'm so, so excited to read these. And I know Destiny Sidwell is obsessed with these, and I love her, so I can't wait to read them. We have the Happy Ever After playlist and yours truly by Abby Jimenez. I also have not read an Abby Jimenez book yet, but again, I've only heard great things about her writing and her storytelling. And these are both, I think, are interconnected as well. And they both have dogs on the covers, and I love animals, so I'm very excited about that. And this one seems like it has to deal with some sort of like music or playlist, and I love, love, love music, so I can't wait to read this one. And then yours truly, I think, has another surgeon or doctor in it. And like I said, I was in a phase. So I was just looking for books with that kind of trope, I guess, to it. So I can't wait to get to these. Next, I have Tell Me Lies by Cruella Lovering. This is another book I don't know too much about. I know it's a Hulu series, and I wanted to watch the show, but I really wanted to read the book first, so I picked it up. And I think it's a toxic relationship. I don't think you're supposed to be rooting for them. Um, but again, I like these situations where they deal with more real life stuff than, happy ever after, which I thought is what I preferred, but I guess I really don't. Maybe it's because I'm an adult now and I'm realizing that life isn't like that anymore. But I'm very excited to get into this and kind of see what it's all about and, see maybe a different perspective on a toxic relationship. And then the last books I have on the top shelf of my TBR cart are the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I just recently picked these up. I did get the exclusive edition from Barnes & Noble. It was the same price as the regular, so I thought I should get the even prettier ones. I just finished ACOTAR, and I've not read Throne of Glass yet, but I will be getting to that after Crescent City for sure. I'm sure many of you also follow Sarah J. Maas on Instagram, and that was my fault. My fault. Especially since I haven't read all of her books. I probably shouldn't have done that yet. But I did, and I saw her post. And I get it wasn't that much of a spoiler because the books have been out for a couple of years and I should have read them by now, but I hadn't. But I'm also not mad that she posted it because it's going to make me pick up this series finally. And I will also be doing a reading vlog on this. And it'll be spoiler free, but at the end I'll put a little spoiler section so I can talk about the book with other people that have read it. Yeah, I'm so, so, so excited to get to these. I'm going to finish reading the book I'm on right now, and these are definitely next. I'm on the edge of my seat for these. And now, starting on my second shelf of my TBR cart, I have The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. I read The Atlas 6, I think it was in 2022. And I picked this book right when it came out. But for some reason, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm not quite sure why, because I really enjoyed The Atlas 6, and I got very connected with the characters, and it left on a pretty big cliffhanger. So I'm very excited to get to this, but for some reason, I just haven't picked it up. I think there's just been more new books coming out that I've been trying to keep up with instead of keeping up with series I've already started. So I'm hoping I can get to this pretty soon because I do really want to know what happens. And the Atlas Complex just came out, so I definitely want to get to that as well. Next, I have Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. I cannot wait to read these. I just recently read Never, and so I'm really into that fairy tale style. I didn't think I would be, but I really enjoyed that. Kind of like the land and all of it was so mystical, and so I'm really excited to get to these. Again, I've only heard great, great things about them. Never a bad thing has been said, but I really cannot wait. And I'm hoping I can pick these up soon. I haven't bought A Curse for True Love yet, since I obviously haven't read these books yet, but I keep buying them. Yeah, but I can't wait. I also haven't read Caraval, but I've heard you don't need to read Caraval to understand these. Maybe if I really enjoy these, I'll go back and read Caraval, but I currently haven't picked it up. I have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is a YA fantasy. I am so excited to get to this as well. I bought this right after I finished Fourth Wing and Iron Flame because I was just in a big fantasy kick. This is and has enemies to lovers in it. Obviously, all fantasies kind of do, but it's so well done in a fantasy every time. And I'm excited to hear about their story, and I hear it's kind of somewhat similar to The Hunger Games a little bit. I love The Hunger Games. And Sarah Crowley is obsessed with this book. And again, another book too where I love Sarah Crowley. She's what got me to read Magnolia Park, so honestly, I'll read anything she recommends to me now because I can't wait longer than I did to read Magnolia Parks to find another amazing book. We have A Thousand Heartbeats by Kiera Cass. This is, I think, another YA fantasy. It could be YA dystopian. I'm not 100%. I really don't know what this one is about, but I loved the selection by her. So I saw that she had a new book. I mean, this isn't super new now. It's been out for a little bit now. But I bought this when it was new, and I can't wait to get to it and kind of see what it is about because I really enjoy her writing and her storytelling. I think her writing is so fast paced and easy to get into. She doesn't spend forever world building, which I know sometimes you have to do, and I get through it every time, but I think I like it more when it's incorporated throughout the story, and that seems to be how she did all the selection books. So I'm kind of hoping that's how this one is written as well. But if anyone's read this, please let me know if you liked it because I haven't really heard many people reading this. And also, the cover is just like gorgeous. So I really can't wait to pick it up. Then I have What Happens After Midnight by K.L. Walther. This is a YA romance. It's set at a boarding school, and I think that's such a fun setting. I love when they're set at like boarding schools. You just get a different perspective outside of them kind of like living with their parents, or I don't know, it's a more fun, different setting, and I think it's really interesting. You get different relationships, you get more found family. I feel like this as well because they're not with their actual family. So you get a lot more found family, I feel like, relationships in these books. But I read The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther, and I really, really, really enjoyed that. So I'm very excited to finally get to this. I've heard mixed reviews, but I really think I'm going to enjoy this. Next, I have Right Girl, Wrong Side by Jenny Baird. I was just at one of my local bookstores, and I saw this book, and I love the ocean. I love the ocean so much. And I saw that there were seashells and crabs and starfish and just like beachy things on the cover, so I picked it up right away. Didn't really care what it was about, but I think it's a YA romance. It could be adult. I'm not 100% sure. But it's set in Nantucket, and it has like a Romeo Juliet kind of style, opposing families, but the two people love each other. I don't know. I think the cover's gorgeous. I think this is so pretty. And I don't know. I love when they're set at a beach, so I really can't wait to get to this. Again, I haven't heard anyone reading this either, so I'd love to hear if anyone's ever read this. Next, I have When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I loved The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, and I picked these two books when she released them, and I haven't read them yet. I was hoping to get to them last year, kind of around the summer. I'm not sure if they're set in the summer, but they feel summery to me. I try not to read books outside of the certain seasons, especially summer books, because I love the summer, so I'll get really upset when I'm reading about summer and it's like freezing cold outside like it has been currently and snowing every day. So I try not to read the summer books until it's kind of springtime again. But I'm really excited to hopefully get to these this year. I really love her writing. They're both YA romances, by the way. I don't know. I really enjoy her writing and her storytelling and the way she creates her characters. And I don't know. I really love her books, and I'm really excited to get to these too. Next, I have The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This is another YA romance. Um, this I feel like is one of the more OG book talk books. I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I joined it a little bit late, but this is, I think, one of the more OG ones. And I know I again have not heard a bad thing about this book at all, or this author. I know people are obsessed with Catherine Center. I know that this has the woman is the bodyguard. I think that's so fun, and I love that. And it's not the guy. I think that's so fun and different. And I hear that there's fake dating. I don't know if I'm correct, but if there is, that's one of my favorite tropes ever. And so I absolutely will probably love this book because if there's fake dating, it's something I will probably give it 5 stars. Then I have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Again, this is another book I've heard no bad reviews about at all. I don't know if this is a newer release or if it just recently got really popular, but it just blew up online, and I was hoping to get to this in the fall, but I unfortunately didn't pick it up until after the fall. But I know there's magic involved in it. I don't know. I think it's such an interesting kind of different story. I feel like I haven't heard about this in many books. I could be wrong and just not, reading enough, but I feel like I haven't heard about this kind of, you know, almost time travel-ish vibe in books, and I'm really excited to pick this up and see what it's all about, because I've heard great things about the author, the book. I've heard great things about the Dead Romantics. I haven't read that either, though. So I'm really excited to see about her writing and her storytelling. And then lastly, for the books on my book cart, I have Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is another YA romance. It's set in France. I took French for 4 years in high school, so I've been very interested in this. The only thing that's been holding me off is my parents didn't let me go on my trip to France my senior year of high school. I didn't get in trouble or anything like that. They just didn't let me go. I don't really actually know why. But I feel like I've always been scared to read this after that, because I felt like I was just gonna get FOMO again from all my friends being in France and stuck in the middle of the US. But I decided to finally pick it up because I love French so much. And I love France, and I learned so much about the country in my French class, and I'm kind of curious to see what I still know, like if there's little French dialogue, like how much do I still remember of the language. I was really good at reading and writing, and I was really bad at speaking and understanding. But since it's all reading, I kind of want to see what I still know, and if I've, how much of it have I lost, because it's been 2 years now since I've taken French. And we learned a lot about kind of the architecture and the layout of Paris, and you know, just how everything is and where certain monuments are and what streets they're on, what streets they connect to. And I don't know, I kind of just want to see how much I still know, and I just love everything about the French culture. So I just want to appreciate it a little bit in this book. And it's a city of love. I feel like this is such a great setting for a romance book. Those are all the books on my book cart. You can't see the bottom row, but down here is just my reading journal supplies, my planner supplies, and I have some stickers that I like to put on my Kindle case, and just little knickknacks like that are down here. But that's all for my TBR cart tour. I will be using this in my next week video. I will be doing a January wrap up and a February TBR. Anyway, thank you for watching this week's video. If you see this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and comment any videos down below you'd like me to film. Like I said, I will be doing a Crescent City reading vlog. I don't know when I'll be posting that. Hopefully soon. But I'm really excited to get into the series. And depends on when I'm finished filming it, if I'll have the third book in it as well. But again, thank you so much for watching, and bye!